Hello, Your Honor. This is the case of Moore Cooper versus Cooper.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. Ms. Moore, this is your second appearance before the court. Now, when you were last here, it was to reveal a secret you'd kept from your son for 29 years. He then received the heartbreaking news that the man he'd always known as his dad was not his biological father. You testified that the very same thing happened to you with your mother. So today you are here to break the cycle because another of your sons, Mr. Cooper, has a child whose paternity is also in question. Now, Mr. Cooper, you say your wife, Mrs. Cooper, was secretly sleeping with you and another man around the same time she conceived your daughter. You now seek the truth about your child's paternity because you say you've learned from your mother that secrets and lies can nearly destroy a family. Now, Mrs. Cooper, you admit to an affair, but say you are certain Mr. Cooper is the father of your child. You state you are here today to prove it and also want to confront your mother-in-law, Mrs. Moore, because you feel she's meddling in your marriage. Now, Mrs. Moore, please explain to the court why you've returned today.
My son, Walter, here could express to me about his concerns that his child, it may not be his. Then Ashley calls me and asks me to try to help her resolve this issue between her and Kit. So I'm like, okay, we got to do something. This has got to stop. And that was my purpose of being here before.
So now, Mr. Cooper, I have to ask you about the doubt. When did you begin to have doubts about this beautiful baby being your child?
The first time I had an inclination that something was going on. I was actually working, and I got sent home early. There was a power outage. They sent us home. And as I'm pulling into the driveway, I see this black car, and this guy walks into the building we live in. Didn't think nothing of it, so I go into the house. The same guy I just seen him come out the car is now sitting inside the house, okay?
Oh.
Me and Ashley had some words about it, and she pretty much stood back like, you know, hey, you know things wasn't working out between me and you for a while. I mean, she like, you know, she got really, really tough and bad acting, so to speak. So I took the guy out into the hallway, and we had a man-to-man talk.
Okay.
Okay. The guy said, I mean, I knew of you, but I didn't know you were still living here. I was told I wasn't there, pretty much a deadbeat dad. Okay, and I explained to him, I said, if you look around, pictures, bills, my kids is here, my clothes is here, I live here, you know, that type of thing.
So, Ms. Cooper, were you cheating with this man?
At that time I was, but I wasn't. Me and Walter were on the outs. Walter has cheated on me so much that at that time, what I did was I wanted Walter to feel all the pain that he had inflicted on me all them years. We've been off and on for 9 years. The first 4 years of our relationship, he cheated on me the whole time.
So you admit?
Yep. I admitted that I did cheat. He did not show no attention, no affection. There was nothing between us. I mean, he didn't even look at me the same. He would sit there on his electronics like I didn't even exist, like his other children didn't exist. We weren't even visible to him. I might not have caught him in the act of doing anything, but he was still communicating with other women as if he was trying to have a relationship with him.
And Ashley, I love you, you stepped into this marriage knowing his past background, and you had your past background, but you brought your background into your marriage, which is totally wrong. Talking is one thing. Ignoring you is one thing, but if you feel like you got to step out your marriage to get added attention or a conversation, then get a divorce.
And we planned that. It was his decision for us to stay together.
So, Ms. Cooper, let me ask you this. Was this a one-time thing, this affair, or did it go on?
No, it did not go on. When the affair he's talking about had ended, then me and Walter had eventually split up, and I moved out of the home.
After you got caught cheating?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper, fill in the blanks.
Okay, this is what happened. After that particular incident, I thought we was getting things back in order, okay? She wakes up one day, I want to say it was a Monday. I can't do it anymore.
Oh,
And
wait.
just left.
Okay, so back up. After this incident with the cheating, you say in your mind, okay, we've confronted it. It's out
Right,
on the
it's
table.
done.
Let's just try to
Move
start
on.
over. Then she wakes up one day and says, what?
This is not working anymore. I'm done. I'm out of here. She withdrew the kids from school, and she had made a phone call, and she was gone.
Is this true, Miss Cooper?
Yep, I left.
Because you felt what?
Because it wasn't working with us. He still was the same. It was the same thing. And I wasn't going to keep sitting there and dealing with it.
Which
Like,
makes no sense
there's
because
And
the
during
grass
this
ain't always
time,
greener on the other
During
side.
this time, did you end up sleeping with another man?
when I moved out of the home, I was seeing another man, yes.
So this is the reason there's doubt today. Tell me about this doubt, Mr. Cooper.
Okay, the doubt is, first off, now I know who the other guy is.
Okay.
When I actually had a chance to meet him, we would sit down, we would talk, we hang out, things of this stuff.
You and the guy she cheated with?
Me and the guy that she cheated with. We would
Sit
sit
and
down.
talk and hang
we
out?
sat down.
I've
we
never heard of
talked.
such.
He didn't know at that time.
No, I didn't know, but see, this is the thing. I didn't know.
You didn't know.
Right. We would
Oh,
sit
wow.
and talk. I let him
So
in
you
on some
knew
of the-
this person?
Yeah, I know who he is.
And no clue
No
he's
clue.
sleeping with your wife?
None whatsoever.
Because at that
Smooth
time, we weren't even
operator.
sleeping together.
You and the guy weren't sleeping together at that time?
No.
You didn't sleep
We
with
were
him until
ju-
later?
We were just talking. There was nothing going on between us when him and Walter had communicated, met each other, whatever. Me and him.
This
Okay,
is-
but you do admit that you were intimate with this man during the time of conception, which is why we're here today.
Yes.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Is it your concern Armani looks more like this other man
My concern,
than you?
My concern is this. When I look at Armani, I don't see me.
So, Ms. Cooper, I see you're very emotional.
When I conceived, I was with Walter. We both went to the doctors and asked them for advice on conception day and everything. They told me I conceived at the end of June. At that time, I was with Walter. Yes, I slept with the other guy in July. But by that time, I was already pregnant. The doctors even confirmed all of that.
When I look at Armani, I don't see, and I'm not trying to make this a racial thing, I don't see a blackness in her.
Okay, but if you look down his family line, he's got white in his family line. I've even submitted a document of it where his grandmother,
Jerome, can you please hand me
his
Mrs.
grandmother
evidence?
is white, which the gene passes down to his, I want to say grandfather. Then his grandfather passes it down.
That's true.
So if you
Right.
get somebody that has white in their genes, and then you get me, which is already white, why can't my daughter be bright skinned?
And it is in fact true. There is something called a recessive gene or a throwback gene.
Yes.
Whereby if you have genetically Caucasian people in your family, it can throw back to that gene. Now, I'm not saying that's the case, and that's why we're here today. We do not know if in fact this little girl is yours, but I will say that you're looking at the outward presentation of the biology, and you must know from being an African American that genetically it can present very differently. Ms. Moore, what did you
Yes,
want
I
to
got
say?
something to say. All right, and what everything you're saying is true, but Ashley, I love her dearly, and I love Armani. But if you step to me and tell me, well, I want to know from the time she was born that I told Walter he could have a DNA besides mine, I want to know too.
A piece of paper should
doesn't-
not determine that.
It
You
doesn't
stepped up
determine-
at that
But it
hospital
closes-
when you
it
signed that
closes a
birth
gap.
certificate. You
It
knew from
closes
the
a
door.
gap.
Let's get some order. Let's get some order.
It
So,
closes
Mr.
a
Cooper,
gap and
you
it straightens-
signed the birth certificate.
Yes, I did.
And at that time, you said, I'm going to be her father. Did you have a doubt at the time you signed the birth certificate? Did you have any doubt?
I've had a doubt since.
Just like everybody else that
But
first
he
seen that
had
child.
ultimate
Ashley is
opportunities
confused-
to take
what
the test
Ashley-
then.
what
Why
Ashley
a
is
year
Just
and a
one
half
second,
later?
Miss Cooper. What is
Ashley
Mrs.
is
Cooper?
not telling at the time that when she first told me in my bedroom, on my bed, that she was pregnant, my first reaction is, you gotta get the hell out of my house.
You're right, and we
That
filed
was my
divorce.
first, that was my
We both
first.
Oh,
went and
hold on.
filed.
Let me understand this. So before the baby
might
was
was born.
ever born,
Yeah.
before you
It was
even
there.
actually got to see her, you had the doubt because you knew
Right.
about the relationship and
Right.
the fact that this potentially wasn't your child.
Right.
So your first gut instinct when she told you,
Right.
I'm pregnant, this is your
Was,
wife.
This is my wife.
Sitting down
You got-
telling you.
You have to
and
go.
you say, well, you got to go.
You gotta go.
Because you
I don't
didn't
agree
believe
with
it was
that.
yours.
Okay.
But I don't agree
No.
with it like that, Your Honor, because if you didn't want her in your life as your wife, you shouldn't have never opened my front door and say, come on in. Okay? Because at the time, he was staying with me. All right? And knowing that he has a history, she has a history, the one part I don't condone about her history is if she did it in the marriage. But if you're going to say get out, then you need to step out there too instead of waiting till this child get born and now you got all this problem going on and stuff with a whole lot of underlying stuff that don't even have nothing to do with it because both of it is
And-
in the past and this child is here now.
Ms. Moore, you're getting at the point I really want to make because at some point, even though he said you got to get out, at some point you guys rekindled this or tried to
did.
be a family because you say, that's my little girl.
Right.
So at what point did you make that decision?
What made me come to that decision, regardless of whatever was going on with me, I look at
Ashley's
Ashley. I look at Ashley. There's been a lot of times where I put stuff off to the side. Okay, my own thoughts, my own emotions, because I'm dealing with my wife. Regardless of whatever happened, I love my wife. Okay, I love my kids, so I'm willing to step down, send myself through mental whatever, just to make sure they're okay. That's the way I was instilled to grow up to be. All right, handle what I need to handle, deal what I got to deal with behind closed doors at my time with whoever I need to. When I would bring these issues of what's going on with me, because I'm feeling like I can't write a song anymore, I'm having problems in my own personal business life, I bring it to my wife.
Okay.
Okay, and I tell her this is what the situation is. We tend to, I brought it to you. Why did you do this or why did you do that? And like I would tell Ashley, I'm still that same man that when you first met me on the 4th of July when we had our first date and found out you was pregnant by another man and you didn't want him growing up with this situation, let me sign the birth certificate. Let this baby know he got a father regardless.
So wait, when you met Mrs. Cooper, she was pregnant by another man.
By another man.
And you signed the birth certificate.
No, she would not allow me to sign the birth certificate.
But you
at that time.
offered.
I offered.
Okay.
And to this day raising those
Yeah,
kids.
I still raise him.
So as you look at Armani, how convinced are you that you could be her father?
It's a 50-50. It's something I can be honest with you. All right? It's
And
50.
Mrs. Cooper?
I believe in my heart that that's his. That's his baby.
And as you look at her, do you see
I see him
Mr.
in
Cooper?
her. If you look at her face, her eyes change colors just like his does. I have brown eyes. She obviously didn't get it from me. All my other kids have brown eyes. Obviously, that's where they got it from. His eyes change colors depending on his mood. Hers does the same thing. I know he always says, well, I'm around her, that's how she gets my attitude, moods, whatever. She's just like him. I mean, they sleep the same way, everything. I mean, she's a spitting image of my younger son, which is his. So, I mean, she's his. She's his.
Your Honor, I hope that this is my biological granddaughter. However, if it's not, then I feel like Ashley should really reach down deep inside of herself and Kit, or Walter, I call him Kit, that's his nickname. Walter need to reach down inside himself. They need to come together and get it done. However it gonna be. I don't care
And
if
the
you make a
only way we can
I
do
don't
that
care
is if
if
it's
she make a
between just
possibility
me and
list
him.
and he put a possibility list, and if you want me out of your marriage, don't pick up the phone and call me. Okay, because my thing of it is, I've lived with it. I'm 57 years old. I lived with it with my mother. I've lived with it with my 30-year-old son, and now I got a granddaughter in question. They need to get it done because not only is Armani going to be affected by this, they got 3 other kids. Okay, And if this is not his, then she's got 4 babies with 4 baby daddies. And he's daddy 5 for all of them. So as my son, you took on this responsibility, then respect your wife. Your wife needs to respect you, and they all need to love their kids. And that's how I feel about it.
You know what, Ms. Moore? I appreciate that because you want to break this cycle.
I really
and you
do.
want to break it here today.
Today, because I don't have any more kids to come back to court.
Jerome, I think it's time for the results.
There you go.
Now, Mrs. Moore, the last time you were in court, the results were overwhelming.
It was for me.
I would like for you to take a seat. Just for your safety.
Okay.
No matter what these results are, I am certain they will be emotional. No matter what these results are, I am certain they will be emotional.
Yeah.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and read as follows. In the case of Cooper versus Cooper, when it comes to the paternity of 1-year-old Armani Nairi Cooper, Mr. Cooper, you are not her father.
You know I still love you. This is something you all gonna have to work through. Listen to me, Ashley. Hold your head up. You have children that now you have to stand up and be a real mother. You have a little girl, and you cannot let her make the same mistakes. And we all make mistakes, Ashley.
You seem stunned.
It doesn't change the way I feel about Armani. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strong man, I'm gonna stand strong, and I do strong things. And this is my strongest battle, and I'm gonna stand there for that.
I hope you understand. I know this was not the news you wanted. I know it's probably difficult for you because sometimes the truth
Hurts.
Thank you. But it's also the key to moving forward. Now the truth is on the table. We know it's not what you wanted, but he says he's not going anywhere. And learn how to mend this situation. Are we clear? Court is adjourned.
Judge Blake, she was honest, she was fair. I mean, she gave us a chance to vent out what needs to be said.
And hopefully we can just move on from this.